All right, let's give it a go, see if I can power my way through this. My name's Peter Fasciano. This is Whiskey is a Journey. It's my Monday series where I take a whiskey and I do an in-depth review. Like always, we're going to pour it, nose it, taste it, talk about it a little bit. I'm going to add some water to it, and then if you stick around until the very end, I'm going to give it a score. And if you stick around until the very end, I also have my May giveaway to do. I've got 2 winners this month, so I will spin the wheel at the very end of this review. And this also opens up my June giveaway. So feel free to read the rules in the description below. All right, this smells very sweet. Based on the thumbnail, it's an Old Fitzgerald. This is 11 years bottled bond. 100 proof, it's the Heaven Hill mash bill of Larceny. So we're looking at a 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. I also saw a mash bill out there, 75-25, 75 corn, 20 wheat, 5% malted barley. I don't know where that came from, but those are the 2 mash bills that I see from Heaven Hill. I don't know if that is an old mash bill or not. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon, 750 milliliter bottle. I ended up having the opportunity to purchase this bottle through the Grand Reserve membership through Total Wine. And I don't think it's that much of a bargain, but it was $224.99. And I gotta tell you, even though I sound like crap, my senses are still pretty good. My palate's good. I did a test pour warm up and I'm all good to go. I just sound really bad. This is sweet, it's fruity, it's got a little bit of spice and a little bit of a cherry note. Get a little bit more of a darker caramel note. And if I were to pinpoint the spice, it would be along the lines of a ginger and a cracked black pepper. Nothing too outrageous, but it smells really good. I think there has been mixed results on this bottle, but each release is a little bit different. And I do believe this one is the fall 2024 release. So I think it really depends on which batch you get, which release you get from year to year. Yeah, I mean, it smells really good. I don't really get the traditional wheated note through here. It doesn't taste like, it doesn't smell like a wheated roll. I don't get any bready notes from it. Caramel, vanilla, cherry with a little spice. All right, can't wait to get this on the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, wow, okay. That's a little bit more spicy than I imagined. And holy cow, it is hitting the mid-palate with a very bitter, dry, tannin note. It disappears pretty quick, and what I'm left with on the palate is a really nice, soft, fruity, spicy, oaky, chocolate-covered cherry, pleasant finish. This is nice. It's weird that I picked up those chocolate notes pretty quickly after that bitterness hit the mid-palate. As I go through my review, I'm starting to realize that I really do sound strange, but honestly, my palate and my nose are just fine. My brother-in-law, John, is building a lettuce fortress or a lettuce prison for my sister. Every time she plants something, the rabbits and the birds and everything get into it and destroy the garden. So we're building something. She's got a bunch of wood chips in her backyard. We raked those up and all that dust got into my lungs or throat and it just completely messed me up. So as this is sitting longer and longer, that oaky, bitter, tannin, dry note has gone away and it's leaving me with a very pleasant finish. It's a soft finish, but it's lingering around quite a bit. So let me get a second sip in, add some water to this, talk a little bit about Old Fitzgerald, and then we'll get to the score. Second sip, everybody. Second sip, better than the first. Spice up front, oak on the side of the tongue, cherry, chocolate, vanilla, a dark brown sugar, and there is an effervescence happening on the tongue. Now, this is the first time I've ever had an Old Fitzgerald. I don't see these on the shelves ever, so when I did have an opportunity to purchase this, I jumped at the chance and got it. Based on the price, it might be a one and done for me, but based on what I'm getting on the palate right now, it's actually pretty good. If you've had Old Fitzgeralds before, let me know what you guys think of it. What batch do you have? And whether you really do think these are overpriced for what they offer. Be interested to hear in the comments. Let me go ahead and add a couple of drops of water. Let this rest for a little bit while I talk about Old Fitzgerald. So the brand was first registered in 1884, and it was eventually sold to Pappy Van Winkle during Prohibition. And currently, it is a Heaven Hill product. and they ended up purchasing it back in 1999. And they released the Bottled and Bond, the decanter series, back in 2018. So this decanter has not been around for very long. And like I had mentioned earlier, this is the fall 2024 release. And based on what I'm looking at, they do 2 releases a year. All right, so with the water, there's a lot more oak that is coming through on the nose. It got a little bit more spicy. The pepper note has now gone away, and I'm left with a little bit more of a ginger note. The water also hid the cherry note. The cherry note was pretty subtle to begin with, and now I really need to search for it, but it's there way in the background. But all of the brown sugar and vanilla notes are still there pretty strong. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing on the palate with the water. So each sip that I've had is definitely getting more and more spice as I go. With the water added, there is much more effervescence on the palate now. It's more oaky, it's more spicy, and you lose those nuances of the cherry, brown sugar, caramel, and those chocolate notes. It's still good with the water, but I definitely don't think it's something that I would go out of my way to add the water to. I think this has some pretty good aspects with the water, but I think it's much better. It's more vibrant. It has more depth without the water. So let's go ahead and get on to the score. If you are new to the channel, I rate everything out of 5 stars. And I think in the past, I have definitely been putting my judgment towards this as far as a score goes by the price of the bottle. And I think I really need to start not looking at the price and just look at the value of the whiskey alone. So going forward, I think I'm going to continue to do that and try to push the price out of the equation and truly evaluate this based on the whiskey alone. I do like this quite a bit. I like the depth of flavors that it offers. I don't think that bitter, drying, oaky note when I had that first sip ever came back. There's enough flavor and depth of flavor here to capture my attention. And all around, I think it's a pretty well-balanced bottle. So with that, I'm going to give this a 3.95. I could push this up to a 4, but that first initial sip with that drying and bitterness note, I have to put that into play here. Without that initial note, I think this would have been a 4, but I'm going to keep it at a 3.95. So again, let me know in the comments down below if you ever had Old Fitzgerald. If you have, which release did you have? How old was it? Was it a hit or miss for you? And would you repurchase this at the prices that they're actually asking for it? All right, so the only thing left to do now is get on to my May giveaway. I need to grab my phone, but before I go, again, my June giveaway is happening right now. If you're the first person to contribute to the channel, I'll throw in an extra entry. And I think I've mentioned this before. Not only are you getting 6 2-ounce samples of my first Friday Flight Fight, you can also choose 2-ounce samples of anything that I reviewed in the month of May, with the exception of the stellar, the absolute stellar blind flight that Carlos sent me. That has to be limited to a 1/2 ounce. I know in my previous video I said 1 ounce, but I ended up getting enough contributions that I'm going to do 2 giveaways, and more than likely this flight is probably going to be pretty popular with people. And I'm also throwing in a bottle. Granted, it's an open bottle, but it's a bottle that I have in my collection that I have duplicates of. I have multiple barrel proof Larcenies, barrel proof Elijah Craig's. I have a bunch of barrel releases, barrel bourbon. I think it's like 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, something like that. I have a couple of Booker's bottles as well. I think it's an absolutely fantastic bargain. Give it a chance. $5 gets you 1 entry into the giveaway. Every additional $5 will get you an extra entry. Again, if you're interested, just read through the rules. Let me go and grab my phone and let's spin the wheel. Also, thank you very much for being patient with me and dealing with my voice. I need to get this into, so just to let you guys know, I enter in all of the names. They're all sequential. So the first person that ever entered into the giveaway is up on top. They get the extra entry. So Aaron, I got you in here for an extra entry. And then all the way down to the very bottom, Lowell was the last person to contribute. So I'm just going to, let's put this up to spin time 7, slice repeat 1. I'm going to hit shuffle text only. Take a look and see what we got here. Looks like it's a pretty good shuffle. And then I'm going to save it. And then we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. My voice absolutely sounds ridiculous. So here's what we got. This is my May giveaway. There was a huge boost once I did that killer flight that Carlos sent me. And I know I'm rambling here, but there is a little bit of setup. I released a video on Saturday. If you haven't watched that, go back and take a look at that. It was all about trying to get the whiskey tube sample swap idea going. I think we got some traction on that. And if you haven't watched my Friday video, this is the impetus of it all. Carlos and I swapped blind and double blind samples. Watch my video on Friday, go to his channel, watch his video on Friday, get involved, send a message to your 2 favorite whiskey tube channels and see if they would be interested in doing something like this. All right, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get the spin going. And good luck to everybody. And thank you very much for participating. So here we go. Spin number 1, winner number 1. Oh, that last click is going to make somebody upset. So Bill and Sheila Hike. This is a new name, so congratulations, Bill and Sheila Hike. My email is in the description below, fozpete@yahoo.com. Send me an email. You automatically get, and this includes the second winner as well, you automatically will be getting the Penelope First Friday Flight Fight, and then you can choose 2-ounce samples of anything else that I reviewed in the month of May. If May doesn't hit your palate all that great, you can take a look at some of my back catalogs and you can select 6 2-ounce samples of anything else. And again, if you do choose anything from the Carlos Garcia flight, I have to limit it to a 1/2 ounce because I do believe that the other person that is going to be winning might also want that same thing. So again, I have to limit it. Spin number 2. Here we go. Good luck. Hide my eyes so you can actually see it. Second winner is... Oh, that's another delayed click. So Cash 3, this is your actual second time winning. So congratulations. You are now on the leaderboard with 2 wins. I still think Carlos Garcia is actually the top winner. I think he's won multiple times. So Cash, again, congratulations. I do have your information, but just in case, send me an email and you know the process. June giveaway is now live, and hopefully on Wednesday, you won't be dealing with this voice. So wherever you are at in your journey, I hope you are enjoying it, and then we'll talk to everybody later. Bye.